Gather around. It's time for the show to begin. Ladies and gentlemen, this is...
Hey everyone, my name is Jason.
Hi friends, it's Desiree Josen.
All right, there were so many matches this year that were just too much.
So this won't be a shocker because we've had a handful of really awesome matches that we just can't stop talking about.
How many times have these guys fought? Like it's been quite a bit.
I've been saying this all year. They're just so great to watch. We saw the heel turn coming, and then when it happened, nice and bloody, both dramatic and beautiful.
You are now entering the ring with Chutes and Ladders podcast.
Chutes and Ladders Season 2 premiere 2024 AEW pay-per-view countdown. What's going on, everyone? My name is Jason.
Hey friends, how's it going? It's Desiree Josen.
All right, this is our Season 2 premiere of AEW. We're going to wrap up last year's 2024 countdowns for pay-per-views. What are your initial thoughts, Des?
One thing I'm going to say about AEW is what they do right, and that's some really awesome matches. However, when it comes to their pay-per-views, they're not as memorable. So I'm curious to see, but it's a little bit of a struggle here to determine a favorite when we're picking and choosing from different matches rather than an actual main event. So this should be interesting.
Absolutely. That's actually one of the things I would say too, because there were some just general matches that were just matches of the year, but when you look at the weight of the overall pay-per-view, the rest of the card didn't necessarily hold up to that standard. So this is going to be an interesting thing to see. Like always, we actually haven't seen each other's list. We're going to start off with an honorable mention. Who's your first honorable mention?
Well, I actually have two, just because they're very generic and just for a couple of things that happened. The first one, Double or Nothing, solely for the return of MJF and that fun promo that he cut. And we also got to see Gangrel show up with Adam Copeland. So that was pretty cool to see a Brood reunion. Second, World's End. I know that was very recent, but just because it tied up the year. And, nothing crazy happened, but it was a good ending and start of some feuds. We got to see the return of Kenny Omega, and Adam Copeland is going to start a feud with Jon Moxley. So
that's funny. Okay, fair enough. Well, just an FYI, Double or Nothing is actually on my countdown, so we'll see where.
Ooh.
All right, my honorable mention, I'm going Wrestle Dream. And yeah, what's interesting about this pay-per-view, again, it definitely had some memorable matches overall. This kind of just stood out to me. I was very close to putting this on my countdown, but yeah, it just missed it out barely. And full transparency, the ones I listed between 3 to 1, we're talking razor thin margins. It was very hard to me to choose.
Same.
Yeah. All right, that being said, who is your number 3?
All right, same reasoning with you. It's very hard to do a 1, 2, 3 when it's a gray area. So number 3 will be All Out.
Okay.
Just because of a couple of the matches. One of them in particular is the cage match with Hangman Adam Page and Swerve, very bloody. There was the Chicago street fight with Willow Nightingale, and then that pretty awesome match with MJF and Daniel Garcia. So,
nice.
Overall, okay.
All right, cool. Good choice. My number 3, and again, this was actually very tough overall. It was very hard. At one point in time, I actually thought about putting this as number 1. I'm going Revolution.
Okay.
Yeah, so, and again, from top to bottom, there were just a lot of bangers on this match. Like, on this actual card, I thought just everyone kind of brought it. There was obviously some memorable moments of this pay-per-view. I was very, very, very close to putting this at number 1. Then, obviously, so this just goes to show you how hard it was at the top 3.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so who's your number 2, Des?
Well, it's actually Revolution.
Okay.
Glad you thought of it. A lot of it was for selfish reasons as a fan, and it's favoritism, and for the most part, and that's because Wardlow was in it. Wardlow won the scramble. There was, this small retirement thing for Sting. So we got to see Sting with his retirement match with his boys and Darby Allin. So that was huge. And another fun memory that always sticks out to me about this match was it was Moxley and Claudio's entrance as I'm not sure if it was a nod to him or not, but I loved it. But it was like very Road Warriors, Legion of Doom. They came out with the black spikes. So really cool.
Yeah, and everything what you just mentioned, especially like, the final match ever for Sting. I mean, that's some people actually had this as a pay-per-view of the year. So yeah, that's I'm kind of on board with you.
I can see that. Yeah.
All right, so that leads me to my number 2, and this was tough. I was very close to putting this at number 1, but ultimately my number 1 was definitely number 1. But number 2, I'm going Dynasty.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Absolutely. So Dynasty, I just thought there was just some memorable matches. I mean, Ospreay and Danielson. I mean, these are 2 of my favorites. Definitely my favorite AEW superstars so far, especially from an athletic standpoint. I mean, they really brought it. They have Okada versus defeated Pac. You have Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly. That was a very fun match. So yeah, I thought the crowd was just super into it all night, and yeah, it was just there was a lot of energy in this one.
Nice. Yeah, those are good matches.
Okay, then who is your number 1?
Well, it's because it's the one pay-per-view that stuck out in my mind. So when we were talking about this list, this instantly popped up. So it was kind of a no-brainer just because also 2 of the quality matches. So I'm going overseas too, All In London. So, of course, there was the awesome Bryan Danielson and Swerve match, a really cool coffin match. Mariah May, our girl, defeats Toni Storm for the Women's Championship. That was awesome. And there was a really cool tag team ladder match in the very beginning. So the fact that it just stuck out in my mind, it was a no-brainer. What about you?
That is actually my number 1. And ultimately, listen, admittedly, now that I'm actually thinking about this, it just has to do with whether the wrestlers I really like got put over, and they did. Obviously, Mariah May is my girl. She got put over. Bryan Danielson won, got put over. Will Ospreay and MJF, I mean, that was just, wow. So ultimately, when it comes down to it, that one, I'm just like you, that really, really stood out.
Yeah.
And also, that London crowd, hats off to them. They were hot. I think that was the hottest crowd of the entire 2024.
Yeah. Something about those international crowds are awesome.
Yeah, I think they realize that, look, it's few and far between when they're going to get these events. So when they bring them, I mean, they go at it.
Good. Yeah.
All right. So now we're going to go on to one more humorous segments. It's our least favorite pay-per-view 2024. So what is yours?
Respectfully, I'm going to say this. This was very difficult because I had a number on this list for at least favorite, because a lot of it was not memorable. Like I said, they're fantastic at 1 or 2 matches, but overall as a card, it just falls flat. So mine is Wrestle Dream. So,
that's funny.
A lot of it is the card. It was too much, like I said, a little forgettable, very blah. A lot of these matches should have been on Dynamite and Collision. It just made no sense. And then there was that weird ending of, it was still a decent, cool match. It was Moxley and Danielson, but it was just that ending where it was kind of awkward. Even the audience was kind of confused and put off on it. So yeah, more Wrestle Dream, more like Wrestle Nightmare. So.
And the reason why I'm laughing, in the beginning of the podcast, I said, hey, wait a minute, Double or Nothing's on my list. It's because this is my least favorite pay-per-view. And what's really funny about this is the first time in Shoots and Ladders history where we each had we each our least favorite was on the other one's top. So, but listen, this just goes to show just exactly what we just talked about before. I think every pay-per-view had some really stellar matches, but then there were some other matches on the card that just really weighed it down. So I think that's why you chose yours. This is why I chose mine as well. Double or Nothing had some awesome matches, but then the overall card just was ugh. So that's why I put it there.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So, what are your actual overall final thoughts of 2024 pay-per-views for AEW?
Not terrible. I wish I could give you a little bit more enthusiasm. However, it's the same thing. I feel like I'm a broken record where I'm repeating. It's the pay-per-views, the match card. It's really large. I feel like they just throw in content and random matches that just don't make sense, and and therefore it just ruins the quality of that pay-per-view. And that's why we struggle to be like, this was the actual, this was the best thing, this was the best event. And that's why only one sticks out. And if they really put in some quality matches overall and was a little bit more consistent, maybe we wouldn't struggle with, listing this. So,
Yeah, so listen, and I've said this many, many times, I'm going to double down, triple down, and quadruple down. I think because they charge for pay-per-views, they feel like they have to force extra matches, which is basically forced content. If they did what we said and actually just let all subscribers of HBO Max just had the pay-per-view at their disposal, I don't think they would have that same type of pressure, and that would just raise the overall floor of every pay-per-view. So hopefully they do not charge, and they don't feel obligated to force matches. Because I guarantee you, and I don't think we're the only ones that are going to say this. If they only had 4 matches total, and they were 4 of the best, and it was a 2-hour pay-per-view, no one would complain. I think everyone would just be happy. Instead of sometimes they don't even build up certain storylines, they throw it on the card, and next thing you know, there's just a bunch of matches that, kind of what we said before, should have just been on the weekly television programming. So,
yeah, and I think it's great. Congratulations on making that huge deal with HBO Max. That is a major accomplishment. However, I feel like it's so unnecessary to be charging us for pay-per-views at this point when we're already subscribing to that network or that platform. And then it's just going to sacrifice content and in the long run hurt the promotion and even the talent. So come on now. Let's stop charging, please. And thank you.
Absolutely. Okay, that actually wraps up this episode. Name your countdown. Where did you agree and actually disagree with our countdowns? Please DM us at The Chutes and Ladders. Like always, please like, share, and subscribe both on YouTube and Spotify. Once again, my name is Jason.
I'm Desiree Joseph.
All right. Until next time, have a blessed day and a blessed week.
Bye, friends.
Chutes and Ladders. Follow us for more content.